Well, let's move on to the next topic that we have here on the agenda, which made my day, which made my morning a little bit more special than it already was when it just got announced that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury signed a two-fight deal in 2021. Now, these are
Yes,
two of the
sir.
top three heavyweights in the world. I thought this was, going to be easy to make because they're both from England. So I didn't think it was going to be as hard as, obviously, the fight we was waiting on prior to Tyson Fury and Wilder, which was Wilder and Anthony Joshua. That seemed like an impossible task to accomplish, but they was able to sign this two-fight deal for 2021.
Mhm.
Anthony Joshua has to handle his business. I believe he's going to go up against Pulev. And obviously, Tyson Fury has the trilogy with Deontay Wilder. What are y'all thoughts to this mega fight happening in 2021 if the world is still here with all that's going on?
Deno?
Well, I am really excited, and I'm very happy, Leel, like you said, that they finally got a deal done. And if everything goes according to plan, the whole world unification, the Battle of Britain, like, this is going to be spectacular. And to get it twice in 1 year, especially if they hold all their belts and everything, like, all the stakes are going to be so much higher. I just cannot wait, especially stylistically. You have Fury's like unorthodox style where he's like, always moving around for like a big guy, and he's so fast he could slip punches, especially at 6'9", 270. Like, we haven't seen anything like that. And then you got Joshua, like, the pretty boy. He's got, like, the looks and all this stuff. But Fury doesn't have to look the part to be the part. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very excited.
And go ahead, Kenny.
Hey, man, I'll throw this in there. I failed to mention before, I watched the boxing fight way more recently than Mayweather and Pacquiao. And that was with my man, Leel, up at C-State when we watched Fury and Wilder. And that was a hell of a fight to see. Fury came out and kicked some ass. So I'm definitely hyped up for this. I've obviously heard about Joshua, so I'm hyped for this. I'm definitely going to watch this. And I know they're trying to work out the kinks with, like, the location and finalizing the money and whatnot. But listen, man, you got a guy like Fury who's the WBC heavyweight champion, and then Joshua who holds 3 belts, WBA, WBO, and IBF. So this is going to be a hell of a fight, man.
And I will say this. One thing that I got a few things to say on Anthony Joshua. Obviously, we have another topic because he's receiving a lot of backlash for certain statements that he made. But before we touch that, with Anthony Joshua, I believe that Eddie Hearn didn't want to take that Wilder fight. I thought that Wilder fight could have been made before Wilder and Tyson Fury, and I almost felt like they felt left out because of that. Because you have two guys in Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder that fought twice in the main event, all the publicity, and now because you didn't want to fight Wilder, you're kind of like left out of the picture almost, and you lost to Ruiz on top of that. So you feel more out of the picture until you was able to beat him in the rematch. So I think this made the process of, all right, let's sign this fight so Anthony Joshua won't get left out again more feasible. But at the same time, I think Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, even though I think Tyson Fury will be the favorite to win this fight, I think he's the best heavyweight in the division. I believe that stylistically, Anthony Joshua will prefer this fight more than Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Because it's not to say that Deontay Wilder is better than Tyson Fury. He's clearly not. He lost almost, all 16 out of the 20 rounds? But it's not that I feel like Wilder is better than Tyson Fury. Let's just remember, ladies and gentlemen, styles make fights. You remember in the old days where Frazier, lost to, what's this guy, George Foreman, and then Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman but lost to Frazier. I think it's something like this. I feel like Deontay Wilder, because of his knockout power, will prefer. I don't think Anthony Joshua has a chin. I'm gonna just keep it a real. I don't think his chin is suspect to me. So I feel like with Deontay Wilder's power, I don't know how I feel about Anthony Joshua going to the ring with Wilder. But with Tyson Fury, even though Tyson Fury is this big guy, he doesn't pack a lot of power in his punches. So I think that Anthony Joshua, if he fights the same style like he did against Ruiz, moving around a little bit, but still throwing punches, I think that it could be a competitive fight.
Now, I will throw this in for you guys. Just a real quick curveball. Do you think that because, like you said, Leo, Wilder and Fury are contracted for a third bout, if by any source of imagination that Fury lost to Wilder, do you think that hinders him at all in the lead up to fighting Joshua?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely, because he wouldn't hold a belt. Fury wouldn't hold any belts. So it's like the magnitude of the fight wouldn't be as marketable as if Fury holds all the belts going into it.
And that's why Fury has to be disciplined, because you got these two fights signed for, but you cannot overlook Deontay Wilder. As much as you beat him up the last fight, beat him like a baby who stole candy at a convenience store, you still have to literally not overlook Wilder, because Wilder has a lot of power. And right now, with all this going on, Wilder could be in a phase where it's like, all right, we can see two different types of Wilder. We can see the Wilder that a loss like that on a big stage like that could make his career go down into shambles because he lost and he didn't know how to handle it. Or we can see a motivated Deontay Wilder who should be going back to the gym and learn the fundamentals of boxing, because he started boxing at 19 years old and thinks he can knock everybody out with a right hand and not know how to box and set up that right hand. Go to the body more. You utilize the body shots before you try to go for the attack. But we don't know. But Fury got to be careful at the same time, because Wilder is dangerous. That one shot, we saw it against Luis Ortiz, when Luis Ortiz won 6 out of the 6 rounds, and then he got caught with an awkward shot. So I think I basically. Go ahead.
No, going back to what you said about like Wilder's style, I do think that if Wilder were to fight Joshua, I really think Wilder would knock him out. I really do, because I feel like Joshua would try to outpoint him. He'd try to stay away from him, just get on his bike, and I feel like Wilder would clip him at some point.
Anthony Joshua, you talking about the bike? Anthony Joshua got on his bike against Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, who was out of shape. All right, who looked like he had 10 hamburgers. He went to White Castle, like Harrington Kamar, with his buddy, right before the daggone boxing match. All right, and he was running away from a fat cat, literally, and on his bike. So of course he will be on his bike against Deontay Wilder with a right hand as devastating as Wilder's right hand is. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm stoning Anthony Joshua. I got a few good things to say about Anthony Joshua right now, because I feel like Anthony Joshua is an underrated finisher. He's an underrated finisher. We saw it against Povetkin. When he fought Povetkin got his shots in, and I felt Povetkin was winning the fight, and then he caught him and knocked Povetkin out. You know what I'm saying? Klitschko, he got knocked down in Klitschko, got right back up, knocked Klitschko down. So Anthony Joshua knows how to finish opponents too. You know what I'm saying? And that one step up against Ruiz, it showed his chin was a little suspect. But if he can, do the okie doke, run around a little bit like he did, not too much, you still got to throw punches in there against Tyson Fury, then I feel like it could be more competitive, and it could be a good fight. But Tyson Fury is big, like you said, 6'10", the brother. And if Tyson Fury fought like how he did against Wilder, coming forward, bullying you, watch out. I think.
Yeah, watch out. There's no stopping that behemoth.
I think Anthony Joshua's best chance of probably winning that fight is if Tyson Fury fought the way how he fought Wilder the first time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Trying to outpoint him and outscore him. Like if he does, but I think Fury's gonna come into the Joshua fight the same way he did the Wilder fight. He's gonna put the pressure on him, and he's gonna bring the fight to Joshua. So
exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is why boxing is back. This is why the heavyweight division is the best that it has been since the Mike Tyson days and Ali days. And listen, man, I'm all for it.
When the heavyweight division is good, boxing is good.
There you go. But let's move on to the next topic, which we are going to stay with Anthony Joshua here. So Anthony Joshua declared racism a pandemic, said it is out of control. Now, he has received a lot of backlash. I believe that he had a poem that he recited at a rally, Show Them Where It Hurts. Abstain from spending your money in their shops' economies and invest in black-owned businesses. So he's been getting labeled as racist, and Joshua reacted on Twitter saying, if you think I'm a racist, go F yourself, basically. So Joshua's in a little turmoil here, and I have a few quick reactions on that. Anthony Joshua obviously is one of the best fighters, as we discussed previously, in the heavyweight division. And obviously, with him speaking out, I would assume that there will be backlash because he's a product. like Anthony Joshua is a product. He sells Wembley Stadium out, 72,000 fans. There's a lot of money behind Anthony Joshua. So my question to you, Dean and Kenny C, because there's so much money put on Anthony Joshua, that's why he's a bit protected by Eddie Hearn. Do you feel like his comments could affect some of that, money invested in him with these comments? Do you think it's a bad look for Joshua to speak out simply because there's a lot of money invested in Anthony Joshua and he has 3 of the heavyweight belts?
I think if you're on the pedestal that you are on and you have 3 belts, you're such a big fighter, especially for Britain. I mean, you shouldn't really be penalized and criticized for using your platform to speak out about things you feel strongly about. And he went on Instagram too, and he said, I personally spoke from the heart about the Watford community. Ideas of us personally investing 7 figures to create unity and opportunities and adding change to the African Caribbean community. Shops aren't the issue here. Before you talk shit, you better boycott racism. So I think the fact of the matter here is he's coming out and saying, not to not support white businesses and other ethnicities and races in their businesses. He's just saying, like, invest more into the black community as well, and he's just speaking out like every other major celebrity and athlete has spoke out about the issue. So I don't think that should be a factor.
The way I look at it is, well, people who either like the comments or don't like the comments, either way, they know he's a professional boxer. He's a heavyweight champion of the world. So people are still going to buy the fight. You like him or you hate him, people are still going to buy the fight to either watch him win or watch him lose. So he's still going to be selling pay-per-views even based off of what he said.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this. It's like the thing that we talk about when we talk about Michael Jordan. You could speak out on issues, or if you so choose to not speak out on these issues, then that's your preference. But he chose that he wanted to speak out against everything that's going on. Obviously, there's a big movement going on, and he felt that he wanted to be a part of it, which is understandable. And I do feel like he has a point to a certain extent. Kenny C worded it perfectly. He's not saying do not put money into other communities, do not partner with other communities. He's not trying to start segregation over again. And that's where I think that a lot of people misconstrue that point. Some of it, maybe it may come off that way, but some people I also feel like want to twist it that way because they want to hold on to that power, that power structure. So I would say this, I agree. I feel like a lot of us black athletes, I'm not saying let's pull our resources and separate and create a whole segregation country again, because that's not where we headed. I've been watching protests. I've been seeing a whole lot of white people at these protests. Some of them more than I see black people for black people's rights. So I like stuff like that. I like the aspect of America where black and whites can get together. But at the same time, because we do lack economically, I do feel like because we have the power to invest in our own as well, we can do so. That's why I did a video not too long ago when I felt that a lot of black athletes should start looking at HBCUs as well, putting the communities, the money into these HBCUs. I'm not saying all of them, get out of PWIs. I'm like, let's have a system where you as a recruit can choose to go wherever you want to go, whether it's a PWI or HBCU, and have that option. Because you may say like, all right, I want to help my community out a little more, but I don't want to go to the HBCU because, number one, I might not make it to the pro leagues because it's a little bit more inconvenient for me to do so. But at the same time, if I go to a PWI, I might experience racism. We talked about Dabble Sweeney and his, his behavior as of late and players coming out. We also see what's going on in Iowa with that, So I feel like Anthony Joshua is spot on that we should start investing in our own communities, not separating ourselves from other races around the world.
Well said.
Yeah, that was good.
Anthony Joshua's out here doing his thing, and we'll see how, like we previously discussed it, he got to take care of Poulet first, and I won't, after Ruiz, I won't, consider that fight a check-in win. You know what I'm saying? I would have to see how he looks because, let's face it, that last fight, I didn't really see Anthony Joshua's fullest potential. I seen a guy that was just trying to survive and get the hell his belts back. Literally. I feel like that fight, that second Ruiz fight, be like, listen, Anthony Joshua, we ain't trying to look cute. We're not trying to, look like the best heavyweight in the world. Get the belts back so we can, go from there. That's exactly what it was to me.
Yeah, because if he lost to Ruiz in the second fight, it was over for him. Everyone would have looked over him. That was it. He was done if he lost that second fight. So he had to play it safe, and you kind of knew that going in. He wasn't going to challenge Ruiz again. Because once Ruiz hit him with that left hook in the first fight that dropped him, that set the tone for the rest of the fight. He was not the same after that.
Exactly. And Ruiz did not help his case.
Oh, sorry. No, you good.
No, I was saying Ruiz didn't help his case by eating all them hamburgers before the daggone boxing match. I think I don't know.
Yeah, what did he come in, like 20 pounds heavier or something?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
It was ridiculous. But I'm interested to see how Ruiz look. I'm going forward. I was hearing a possible Luis Ortiz fight, and I would like to see that. I think that would be an action-packed fight. You know what I'm saying?
And especially, especially now that he's under Eddie Reynoso, like Canelo's trainer, like that could be good for him. I like it.
Yes, sir, definitely. Because Ortiz, remember, lost to Wilder before Fury. So he lost to Ortiz. He's still a top heavyweight that nobody wants to see. They don't want to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? It's high risk, low reward. And you still have Andy Ruiz that want to revive his career. So two fighters that want to revive the career. I'm all for it.